10 countries that are kicking out Filipinos. The full story: what happens when 10 major nations suddenly decide they no longer want Filipino workers. It's happening right now, and the numbers are staggering. Over 300,000 Filipinos are being forced to return home in 2025. These aren't voluntary departures, they're forced exits from countries where Filipinos have worked for generations. And the number one country on our list will leave you in shock. Welcome to Hidden Realms, where we uncover the most pressing issues affecting Filipinos worldwide. Stay with us to learn which countries are pushing OFWs out, and why. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated and support our growing community. Let's begin. 10. Malaysia. In 2025, Malaysia introduced the Malaysian First Employment Policy, prioritizing local workers over foreign labor. This decision hit Filipino workers hard, especially those in the retail sector, where many have worked for years. Thousands of OFWs suddenly had their work permits revoked, leaving them scrambling to make plans within a strict 30-day deadline. The abrupt enforcement of this policy caused widespread financial instability and immense stress. Despite their significant contributions to Malaysia's economy, Filipino workers are being forced out, leaving them uncertain about their future. Malaysia's government insists this move is meant to create more jobs for locals, but critics argue it unfairly disregards the sacrifices OFWs have made to the economy. 9. Taiwan. Taiwan's industrial and manufacturing sectors have long relied on Filipino workers. However, a 60% cut in worker quotas in 2025 has left thousands jobless. The government has also introduced a stricter skills verification system, which has increased costs and barriers for many OFWs. Filipinos who previously met employment criteria are now struggling to comply with the new standards. Those unable to pass the updated requirements have no other option but to return home, often under serious financial strain. Many Filipinos who had long-term career plans in Taiwan now face an uncertain future. Taiwan's mandatory return policy after contract completion adds another layer of complexity, leaving Filipinos with fewer options than ever before. 8. South Korea. South Korea's decision to phase out E-9 visas in 2025 has left thousands of Filipino workers in limbo. These visas were critical for Filipinos working in factories and manual labor jobs, but their elimination has significantly reduced opportunities for OFWs. Adding to the difficulty, South Korea is rapidly embracing automation, replacing many traditional jobs with technology. OFWs who have worked hard for years now find themselves sidelined as industries shift toward machine-based solutions. The country has also imposed stricter language requirements, making it harder for Filipinos to meet qualification standards. This has resulted in many forced departures, marking the end of an era for Filipinos who contributed to South Korea's economic growth. 7. Japan. Japan's caregiving trainee program, a key source of employment for many Filipinos, is set to end in 2025. This program not only provided jobs but also helped Japan support its aging population. With its termination, a significant employment avenue for Filipinos is closing. A newly introduced tax system targeting foreign workers has increased financial burdens, making it even harder for OFWs to save money and support their families back home. Combined with Japan's high cost of living, many Filipinos are finding it difficult to stay. Stricter visa renewal policies have also complicated matters, with reduced quotas and higher standards. Many OFWs now face no choice but to return home, despite their invaluable contributions to Japan's workforce. 6. Kuwait. Kuwait's mass deportation of domestic workers in 2025 has disproportionately affected Filipinos. Thousands have been forced to leave on short notice, disrupting their families and livelihoods. The government's new age restrictions for domestic workers have left many in their late 40s and older disqualified from continuing their jobs, regardless of their experience. Additionally, Kuwait has implemented a zero-tolerance policy on overstays, imposing severe penalties on those unable to leave in time. Many Filipinos have struggled to navigate the new rules and face significant challenges returning home. 5. Hong Kong has reduced its domestic helper quota in 2025, directly impacting Filipino workers. New minimum income requirements for employers have made it harder for families to afford helpers, indirectly pushing Filipinos out of jobs they've held for years. Stricter housing regulations have worsened the situation, making it nearly impossible for OFWs to maintain a stable living environment. Many Filipino workers in Hong Kong, who once enjoyed stable employment, are now being forced to make difficult decisions about their future. 4. Bahrain is phasing out Filipino workers in 2025, preventing many OFWs from renewing their contracts. Property ownership restrictions have made it harder for Filipinos to establish long-term roots in Bahrain, and family visa cancellations have forced painful separations, disrupting many lives. Despite their contributions to Bahrain's economy, Filipinos are now being excluded, highlighting the challenges OFWs face when migration policies shift in favor of local citizens. 3. Saudi Arabia's Saudization initiative in 2025 has targeted 12 key sectors, leaving thousands of Filipino workers displaced. Previously open roles in these sectors are now being reserved for Saudi nationals, significantly reducing opportunities for OFWs. Stricter regulations on domestic workers and limits on religious and community events have created an increasingly unwelcoming environment for Filipinos living in the kingdom. 2. United Arab Emirates, UAE. The UAE's Emiratization policy in 2025 has displaced over 85,000 Filipino workers, prioritizing local hires in banking, retail, and government roles. Tougher family visa rules have also made it difficult for OFWs to stay with their loved ones, forcing many to return home. The rising cost of living and strict regulations have only worsened the situation. 1. Qatar has dramatically cut jobs for Filipinos following the 2022 World Cup, focusing on hiring Qatari nationals instead. The introduction of a hiring ban on new Filipino workers has closed the door to future opportunities, forcing thousands to leave without a clear path forward. What do you think is the biggest challenge for Filipino workers returning home? Is it the lack of local job opportunities or the challenges of reintegrating into Filipino society? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to see how the world views Filipinos differently, check out our previous video, 15 countries trying to be like Filipinos but failed miserably. Don't forget to subscribe to Hidden Realms to stay updated on the latest news that matters to Filipinos worldwide.